I said this before when you were on. I've had an evolution on you. I remember being on the chairlift with a friend of mine in December of 2021, I think it was, and she was reading your book. And anyway, it was a few months before I interviewed you, and I said, "Oh, you should be careful because you sort of if you take in the wrong information, then you're saying the wrong thing to everybody." And she was like, "Well, he has some really interesting things to say. You might want to look at it." So I did. Started looking at your book, started reading it, started looking up the sources that you cited in support. Then went to my team and said, let's check his sources. Let's see what other people say about his sources. Is he citing the right sources? It turned into this long interview we did. And your claims checked out. The most controversial stuff that you get labeled a kook for saying, checked out time after time after time. And this is not a full endorsement of everything you've ever said, but my takeaway was this guy has been unfairly maligned by people who are so pro-vaccine that they just needed to silence him. So it works to the point where there's a fair amount of people who say like, oh, he's a kook. My friends at National Review, we pulled it just not to insult you, but Jim Garrity, who I really like, said, you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And there's similar, but I'll bet you he hasn't done half the work my team and I have to actually see whether that's true. So this censorship actually does have a negative effect on you.
Yeah, I mean, what I say to people is show me where I'm wrong. Just show me the facts because, I'm susceptible to change. If somebody shows me where I'm wrong, I'm not going to stay on an opinion that is based upon a bad factual foundation. I'm accused constantly of promoting misinformation. But nobody actually is able to show me a single factual assertion that I've made that is wrong. And I'm sure there are some out there. We're very, very careful on social media. I probably have the most robust in-house fact-checking operation right now in the media. We have 350 PhD scientists, MD physicians on an advisory board that looks at the things that I post. None of them would stay with me if I was promoting misinformation, regularly or even occasionally. But if I do it, my reaction is, and I say this at the beginning of my book, show me if there's a fact in this book that you disagree with, and show me a counterfact, and we will change it. We've been through, I think, 12 or 15 editions of that book. And if somebody sends a letter to us and says, I spotted something on page 212 that is not true or that's challengeable, we'll just change it.